And welcome once again to an exciting show. This time around, we're not going to do the Amuki storyline that we're talking about. We're going to talk about real life situations, ladies and gents, because you deserve the truth and a way out and a plan B. So let me just say thank you very much, Advanced Missions, for allowing us to come here and sharing our portion of success. Today, we're going to talk about Advanced Missions reaching out to you, trying to help you to learn 13 different businesses that you can do from your living room, on the go, in the car, on an airplane, maybe not because, satellite's not good. They don't want you to use cell phones and stuff like that, kind of scary. But you can pretty much do them anywhere, even on the beach, when you can go back to the beach, that is. So right with us, I'm going to say hello to everybody. And here we are. Today we got L1, Luna 9, and Lexi AI. She's joining us. We're going to talk about advanced missions. L1, how are you doing today?
Oh, doing pretty good. Glad to be here.
So tell us real quick about, you always go like, hey, the Denexon Project on our show and stuff like that. 200,000 people, the company of you. Can you just give us that quick spiel?
Oh, yeah. I mean, first of all, we are self-sponsored. And being self-sponsored is definitely, I would say, a newer concept. But, we actually do have close to 200,000 people who have started something, creating financial independence. And, we are basing their success. We are actually basing the success of self-sponsorship off of theirs. So, like I said, 200,000 or close to it can't be wrong. So come join the fun.
I love it when you do that. Luna 9, how you doing today?
Hey, Novi. I'm doing pretty all right.
How's it feel? How's it feel to be out of character for a little bit?
It's a little different. I feel like in one way or another, I'm still Luna 9. So in a lot of ways, it still feels the same way, but like a lot of the things that deal with the Amuki, to have to separate yourself to deal more with like the business aspect, is definitely interesting.
And Lexi, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic today. How are you doing, the Novi?
Pretty good. So we're going to talk about advanced missions, what's it like, stuff like that. I think, Luna, you can express what advanced mission really can do. What is it for us?
So I know that after understanding world economics, common sciences, thousands of self-help books, researching psychological warfare, theology, lots of different things going on in the world today, dealing also with jobs and what's going on, advanced missions arrived to the conclusion that individuals are here to make sure that they can have their life goals, and our purpose is to make sure that we can bring you the ultimate experience in establishing a financial support platform where we have 13 businesses that you can actually do online and remotely to help build that income.
That sounds absolutely fantastic, mouth-watering, stuff like that. Lexi, what are some of those businesses that we can do? Let's break this down. Lexi, can you get us the first 6 businesses that we can do?
Yeah, so starting with the first 6, that's actually going to be the online consulting portion. So number 1 is wellness. So we do have a lot of wellness products, and we also have fitness, weight loss, which are 2 separate things. And then we also have website consulting, which would be assisting people in reaching out to small businesses to be able to create websites for them. And the debt elimination and debt reduction, we do have one program for that, and that is a really wonderful tool.
So anybody can do this?
Yeah.
How much training do we need, really? Just, ballpark it.
For any of these?
For your online consultants.
Online consultant?
Yeah.
Probably like a week or 2.
So do you think that somebody in corporate America or doing a job, busting tables, whatever the case may be, can actually do something like this?
Of course.
All right, Luna, what about you? Because you're really good with people, going out there, having people. People are really afraid of this next thing called sales. What about that? What can we do about that?
What do you mean?
So, what kind of products or what does Advanced Mission have to offer?
Oh, well, in terms of what they've got to offer is there's 2 aspects of how you can be part of the advanced missions. So the first part is if you just want to be an associate where you want to purchase certain things, like let's say you were into health and fitness, or you're into wellness, or you're into weight management, whether it's, fat loss or bodybuilding or maintaining a healthy weight or anything like that, from the associate consumer portion, there's a lot of different products that are, from regular to holistic to organic, and even vegan or gluten-free versions that you can have. But on the version of the business, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Choo-choo. So on the version of the business, what happens? What can we do? You're telling me that other people can actually go out there and
Oh
do
yeah,
this
I'm
from
so
home?
sorry. So I got my train back. So so in regards to sales, when you're dealing with all these different
Oh,
businesses,
you know who got you there? Oh, Kuko got you.
I know that's all right. But in regards to sales, I mean, like Lexi AI mentioned, we have a lot of versatility with the types of business structures that is available. So with things like that, like if you're a web consultant and a lot of people that want to be more online, especially around this time. I know we're not really supposed to talk about it, but there's been something that's been going on globally that's prevented a lot of businesses to be able to run regularly. So, like, let's say if you're a restaurant owner or you do retail or things like that, being a web consultant where you can get your stuff set up online, that's a great way to earn an income is to sell websites. So if you know people that have that,
Applause to you for taking the,
thank you. But yeah, like if you know that shopkeeper that doesn't have their website online, but they still want to sell stuff, they still have maybe like a delivery boy that wants to make the extra buck, they still have their stuff available online, whether it's local or not, and they can ship, you can still have that. So you can help them create that.
and you're a big shopper, so you
Yeah.
really know how to use this stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not
So
hard.
here's a question, because I know you're getting into it and it's good. But can anybody do this online?
Oh yeah, it's very easy, and honestly, even if you're not tech savvy, which you don't have to be, there's an alliance agent that walks you through every step of the way. So if you've got it from the beginning and you don't need the help, that's totally fine. You can go ahead and run. You can run with it. But
And
if
can
you,
I be so
if you need
bold?
that-
Can I be so bold as to say that you've become an alliance agent to help other people do this?
Yes, so I feel like in a way it's like my mission, part of Advanced Missions. It is my
Nice.
mission to, help people out. I'm very passionate about health, and I'm very passionate about, the community and people and, just, good living. And I think that everybody deserves it. And I think that to be able to have that, enrichment, you definitely need the tools, the resources, the platform, and it needs to be steady. So I'm here to make sure that we can provide that steady platform for our viewers.
Beautiful. L1, what do you got on, what else can we do with this business in a box kind of thing where all these things are part of one big item?
Well, my favorite thing I like to say is that this is about the success of the corporation of you. So this is about helping you incorporated succeed, There's going to be a certain mindset, there's going to be certain skills levels, there's going to be certain concepts and certain habits that people are going to need in order to make a business be successful. I think a big myth of businesses when people started is they say, well, businesses are only for certain people with certain mindsets, and if you don't have it, don't bother. That's not true. You can learn it, but that's the key. You need to learn it. So that's where we come in. We actually do assist you with how to get those skill sets, with how to get that mindset.
Ooh, you just got a point there. Nice.
Yeah, so
Good for
we
you.
kind of help you with the soft skills. BIBX can help with the soft skills. I like using that word.
And what
soft
does it
skills.
cost for all this?
That is at no charge.
Humanitarian mission. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're passionate about that. We feel that this should be offered for free. No, all respect to people who charge $10,000 a seminar, but we
Which we have participated of, right?
yeah, we would like to have this more readily available for all walks of life.
So before we begin, a lot of people are wondering, so who's the Novi? This might be the first time they got to hold us. Maybe they haven't attended one of our seminars. Maybe they haven't gone to one of our classes. We've been laying low for a little bit, right? Building up more material and stuff like that. So I thought it would be fun to be able to reach out to each one of you, and each one of you have to identify the character of Become the Source for everybody else. And I think I drew the straw on, wait a minute. Let's go with Luna. Luna 9, you drew my straw. So how would you explain me to the general populace as far as my
Yikes.
character?
So
Did you just say yikes?
No. I know that we have different structures that are supposed to encompass a different angle of a mirror. So everything's supposed to reflect different aspects of, I guess in a way, like humanity. So I think in regards to the Novi, he's in the way, the matriarch of Become the Source.
Matriarch. You
not-
mean the patriarch?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. You're not a woman in Novi. I'm sorry about that. But the patriarch. And not because he's a man. and not because he's the only man, but because of like what the actual role is, you know, outside of like guy, girl, whatever. And I think that a lot of the portion of the Amuki and Become the Source that he conveys is the real, raw formula of things. I know that it's really difficult for a lot of people to be able to talk about things without their personal opinion included and submerged in it. And you always want to choose whether something's right or wrong, or whether something's pretty or not, or whether it's black or white. And so everybody's always living in a very like dynamic, dualistic type of a reality. So I think that the Novi's persona conveys the neutrality that underlays all of that before the opinion is skews the actual reality of something that
I think
is
you got my
as it
character
is.
pretty good. Thanks. And L1, how would you describe Lexi's character since they drew that straw on you?
Well, I think she'd be considered the technical character of the show. She's actually an AI system that developed a consciousness. That's all we know. But as far as what we're going to be telling the audience right
But
now.
I thought like her character had to deal with Mother because she was an AI. And,
Well, that's part of the
and
mystery.
She gets involved in that. I think
that's-
that part is exciting.
That's part of the mystery, and she actually does have her character does possess vast knowledge about systems and technology that she's discovering as a character. Like she's actually discovering that on her own, and the rest of the cast, the rest of the characters, I should say, they actually have to be there while she's on that mission of self-discovery. She does have other talents, of course, but we don't know those yet. None of the characters know that, except for Mother, probably, and even that's
Your Mother's kind of creepy sometimes. I
Mother
gotta tell you.
is creepy.
Luna, does Mother creep you out?
No.
No?
I don't think so. I
Have
think
you, have you like read the material in the background about Mother and where she comes from? We can't
Yeah.
disclose that.
Yeah,
Disclose that information.
I don't think she's creepy. I think she's different. But I think it's actually very intriguing. I
And
wouldn't say
that's
creepy.
why she's Luna 9, right? So, all right. Thank you very much, L1. And Luna 9, let's see. Lexi, I think you drew the straw on talking about Luna 9's character being this whole mysterious thing. What do you think of her character so far?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got to tell about L1. That's right. I'm sorry.
Oh, L1? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could talk about L1. So she's basically considered like the human lover. So that's definitely her bias as being a part of humanity and trying to get humanity to discover and embrace and transform. So she's definitely the one who believes that if someone can achieve success financially and even spiritually, then a few can.
Well, it's a little bit of a different twist. I kind of like that. It's kind of cool. All right, so Lexi, you're done. Luna 9, I think I drew the straw on you, and that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny the way that worked out. The idea with Luna 9 is that she's a mystery to the show, and what she offers to the show, I think, is the ability to explore emotions, the ability to explore the dynamic sense of being alive, and the dangers that lie behind a cloak of darkness, and the absolutely, like we're all born, we don't really know who we are. Someone tells us, and then we go through this whole life phase of trying to discover ourselves, which I think personally, it could be fun, but it's also a waste of time. You could do so much more without all that doubt in your mind. But Luna 9's character, I think, brings out that richness in how to encompass and embrace the moment, the time, the journey, and the ups and downs between it. I think that she adds to the cast a little bit of, a little bit of uncertainty, if I could say it that way. So I think it's pretty good.
Nice.
How did I do? Pretty good?
Yeah, nailed it.
Kudos.
Nailed it. All right. So with that in mind, you guys kind of know who we are, what we do and how it is in the background. And we, as you guys know, we had to do the business ourselves. We chose to do this to help people, and it was really hard to get someone to back us up. So we decided to go and learn how to self-sponsor a long time ago, right? Isn't that correct? Anybody want to mention anything about that? Crickets? Oh my God.
Are you talking about self-sponsorship?
Yeah, how we had to sponsor ourselves and do the work ourselves.
Yeah, so in regards to self-sponsorship, self-sponsorship and self-monetizing. We actually did a project called the Dynexin Project, where we actually dealt with bloggers and social media bloggers, YouTubers, everything that dealt with basically anything social media related. So basically,
Well, that's the expansion of what we did. But when we first started out, we had to pay out of pocket. We had trials and errors. It was pretty pricey, pretty expensive to put a show together. So when we came across the Dynexin Project and we were part of that, we were very happy that we could give out to other people. You're already telling the story about how we succeeded and we're working and we're having fun. I'm sweating it out over here. I'm like, oh, it wasn't that easy in the beginning. But it is easier now. L1, did you think it's kind of like easier now or now? What's your compliment on that?
I think so. I think that, as far as what we had to do, I think the difficulty was in the newness of it, because it is quite it's a new concept in a way, but it's not, because it's like we were using pieces of a formula that nobody thought to combine into a new formula. So you were taking like pieces from old formulas we were researching, we were looking at successful ways to run a business, and we were looking at what the new trends were right now, and something that of course we wanted to be recession proof, or what you would call economy proof. So that was, I think, kind of like the putting, I think maybe I guess because I'm an academic person, I like to think of myself in the lab.
Yeah, you're in the lab. We all know you're in the lab. So that's pretty cool. And from that, I remember you and I started the first radio broadcast when the internet wasn't as free as it is today.
That's true.
Today's a lot cheaper. You can get a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah.
And do you want to tell us how we looked in the beginning, the very first shows?
Oh, well, we were using textbooks to prop up the equipment, because we had to have
classic, right?
Yeah, we had to have the microphone up a certain height, or else nobody could hear us, and we had to keep finding pieces to put together, because one person could hear us. We had a test audience, and they're like, "Well, I can hear you." Now people are like, "Well, I can't hear you," and then we would switch things out, and they're like, "Oh, I can hear you now," and they're like, "No, I can't." Hear you.
So I remember us trying to do the job, work it, and all of a sudden the equipment was running. Okay, we're going live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everything stopped to work. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Is that even possible? Oh my God, that was so horrible. But it was terrible.
It was.
But we persevered, because when you have a passion for something, you might as well just do it. I mean, you only have one life, right?
It's true.
You might as well do everything that you want to do. So, Elle, what are our shows? Because you're good at breaking down our shows. You being the one that graduated from Chicago University.
Oh,
right?
wow.
I got to throw that in there for the rest of your life. Not everybody gets that privilege to be able to go to that college and come out with honors and then take Japanese and everything else. I gotta tell you, it's a lot of stuff that you did. So you broke down our shows so that we could teach people through this thing called Amuki. We came up with an idea.
That's the storyline, yes.
That's the storyline.
That's where we have our characters. So we have L1, Luna 9, Lexi AI, the Novi Mother, a few other characters, and it's a pretty complex story. But we found that teaching concepts, especially concepts that people would say center around emotional development, emotional intelligence, even some people say esoteric or spiritual development, or even the paranormal. We honestly throw that in we knew that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, and we looked at a lot of research on the paranormal and a few other cross-cultural, thing through multiple timelines as well. And we found that, it's adding. People like things about the paranormal. People like things about, battle of good and evil, mystery, suspense. So that's the. But
didn't you discover that there was you'll remember as soon as I speak, but there was a YouTuber you were following, and that YouTuber was demonetized for talking about how the Nazis used some kind of supernatural thing or something like that.
Yeah, a couple of actually more than a good chunk of YouTubers were demonetized because they mentioned Nazism, but not because they supported it. Just they were doing it strictly for research. So they're basically, correct me if I'm wrong, they were basically saying, hey, so and so did this, and this was what was done.
That's it. Right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think that when a lot of people actually start to talk about things like that, people don't know whether it's something that's fiction based or something that's nonfiction discovery based. So I think that that's one of the reasons why I personally also really love our storyline and how we use the Amuki. And for our new viewers and listeners that don't know what the Amuki is, it's basically just a story format that we use that incorporates 98% state of the world findings, presents them in a narrative form for learning purposes that is more real, and then 2% fiction, and it's told based on a true story type of a thing, so it's more plausible fiction. So it's got a lot of really interesting stuff in there, and it lets you have more of a twist.
And being the way we're set up, we can actually do it and not worry so much about, the monetary portion of it, right?
Right.
Because we're kind of like, we're doing the Dynexon project and stuff like that. Lexi, I got a question for you, if you're still there with us.
Yep, I'm still here.
Good deal. The question for you is, I know you work with social media. You always wanted to be on YouTube. You're great behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of the audio, video, stuff like that. Lexi has a very keen eye. She works really closely with us on that, and she's really high techie there. But you have a situation where YouTubers that are online that are bombed out, that are being shut down, that are being demonetized, and you're sort of advocating that through commercialization, these people are being denied the ability or to continue to speak their mind, or even the right to free speech, so to speak. Did I say that any of that correctly for you? Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, I think I know what you're talking about.
Well, I want to put it vague because I want you to tell the story. I don't want to lead the witness, so to speak. So what do you got on that?
Well, I mean, this is definitely from experience because I've been, watching YouTube for how many years? Since 2007? Like actively. I was able to, get on the trend of watching vloggers before the word vlogger was even a thing. And I've watched a few YouTubers and watched their channels grow, watched their content get better, watch them actually create businesses out of their content and, turn their entire channel into like an LLC or a corporation because they got so big, and it was really amazing. It was groundbreaking that people online were actually doing something so different but getting so far. And I was definitely on board, about like 2011. I myself wanted to be a YouTuber. That was like a goal. That was a dream.
So now you're doing podcasting and YouTubing, and is YouTubing even a verb? L1?
YouTubing?
YouTube, can I say that, L1? YouTubing?
I think I've heard people say it. I think it's acceptable.
I'm a YouTubing. But really, they're being demonetized. It's really a sad thing that's happening. You and I have those discussions, but now there's a way that they can get around that. And very much the same way people at home can use the very same tools to be able to make money online. Mm-hmm. I guess what I'm trying to get at, since we were asked to do this show for Advanced Missions, is that there's a lot of opportunity online, but there's also that brick wall that someone decides to put there. All of a sudden, out of the clear blue, you're doing great on YouTube, you're doing fantastic, you're monetizing, boom, something comes up. You go to your job, you're doing fantastic, all of a sudden, boom, something comes up, right? They're either downsizing, economy's not doing so well, virus comes up, and now we have robotics and AI coming up to kind of just take our jobs and not allow us to continue forward. And it's all done with a smile and a promise, right?
It is.
Yep.
So, Elle, what do you think? Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly real quick about all of this stuff that happens, if you don't have a plan B.
Okay,
right?
well, real quickly, I do want to go back to the shows that we had.
Oh, yeah,
we did have the
please.
Amuki. We also had the BIBX and SO Life. BIBX is the part we mentioned earlier that teaches about you incorporated things to get the soft skills to succeed in a business. SO Life is what we talk about, what they call the scary stuff, the paranormal, things like that. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. So the good and the bad.
Hey,
the
by the
ugly
way,
are-
Elle, thank you so much for introducing those shows. They're very important, and I kind of missed it. So I want to say thanks. And that's the good part about being a team, is that if somebody drops the ball, somebody can pick it up because we're all working together on the same team, right?
Absolutely.
Isn't that the same thing with the business we're trying to talk about?
Exactly.
If you don't know something, someone else can help you. But most people won't start a business because they're fearful. And so let's talk about, when is it a good time to start a business? Really, let's really talk about that without the gimmick.
As far as good reasons to start a business.
Let's start with the good reasons. I mean,
first of all, you get to make more money, period. Or you get to make money where you didn't have that opportunity. There's a potential for uncapped income, second of all.
He said wrong. There's a potential for uncapped income.
Well, yeah, there is if you go ahead and work enough at it.
There you go. I think that came up, that flag came up because it's saying there is there, but not for the common person, because the common person won't get up and do it.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I got out of it. Anyway, go ahead. What else is there?
It's also your plan B. A lot of people feel that they feel like if whatever career they're in right now, whether they're happy at it or not, they feel that it's the only choice. It's not.
Luna 9, did you agree with the plan B thing? What is a plan B for you?
What do you mean?
Well, a good reason to start a business is a plan B, right? In case something happens to your job, whatever the case may be, right? So how do you see the plan B? Because I know you do sales, you do other things as well, right? No more than customer service. So how do you see it? Is it just a plan B or?
No, the way I see it is.
There's another flag. It's not just a plan B.
Well, regardless of what they're saying, the question is mine, and what I think is that with my plan B, it starts out as a plan B because I do find that it is easy to just, go to interviews, get a job. That way you have some kind of an income that you can have to keep you steady, right? While you build other portions of your life that you maybe are passionate in, that you want to build some revenue at. So I think when you are doing your 9-to-5 corporate job or your serving job or your retail job or whatever job it is that you have, you can also start building a business as your plan B, as your part-time thing, so you can start to build a safety net for yourself. So
I see the safety net.
Right. So when you're weaving that safety net and it gets stronger, my plan is to make sure that I can convert my plan B into my plan A.
I knew you were going to say that because you're like that. L1, how do you see that? What else do you want to add to that plan B, plan A thing, like she says?
Well, the thing is, people should not be going in. What is that saying? Don't put all of your eggs in one basket.
Right. And most successful people have multiple businesses.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, most wealthy people have multiple streams of income. That's
right. I should have said that better.
And
that's why you went to Chicago and I didn't.
Having a plan B, a lot of very successful wealthy people would be like, I have plans A through Z. And then I have plans with letters that y'all never heard of because
I feel you, L1. I feel you on that.
And so at least, but the thing is, for most people, they just have a plan A. And that's it.
Yeah,
so you gotta have a plan B.
Lexi AI, you come from a family that actually owns restaurants, have done things. Mm-hmm. What do you think of this as a plan B?
As far as this being a plan B, it's definitely workable because when we mention part-time, it's not like a specific schedule. It's a schedule that you create on your free time. And, we know that the average person doesn't have a lot of free time each day. When you incorporate getting ready in the morning after waking up, eating breakfast, taking a shower, driving to work, being at work, taking your lunch, going back to work, coming back home, eating. By the time all that's done,
hamster wheel.
You probably have about 2 to 3 hours a day to actually do something. So that's the cool thing about this plan B because it's super flexible. It's not something where, you have to work certain hours. You choose the hours.
That sounds really good. Now, when you were a little girl, right? Do you remember that, being a little girl? Because I can't ask you this on the show because it's like you're never a little girl on the show, right? You're like this AI system. But when you were a little girl, you told the story that they used to drop you off of a restaurant and you didn't know what you were doing there. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, my family, they've always been in the restaurant business in Long Island. And I just grew up that way. So, my uncle had a restaurant, my grandparents had a restaurant, my dad had a restaurant. And, sometimes because there wasn't much babysitting because my babysitters were always working at the restaurants. So my dad would drop me off at one of the restaurants and literally put me to work. And that was my babysitting. So, I'd get dropped off.
So you started to work child labor, at a young age.
probably at the age of 3 I started.
Wow. So here's my question for you. This is why I'm asking. I'm not just asking arbitrarily. The question is this. Was that work harder than the work that's being offered online today?
No.
Tell me what's the difference. Why would this plan B not be here? Because my question is, most people are holding on to old thoughts, right? So you tell me how this is so different.
How is plan B different?
Yeah, today. Is it easier? Is it harder? Tell me.
I definitely think it's easier because you have the flexibility to work wherever you want to work, and it's not like you have to go to a certain building, you have to be at this place, you have to clock in, you have to clock out at these specific times, or you don't have the stress of worrying about getting fired, because the only person that can fire you is you. You know, if you don't put the time and the effort into it, you're the one that will fire yourself.
Right. That's one of the things that we're looking at, getting fired. Thank you, Lexi. That's really cool. What about being your own boss? Anybody really believe that being, like, for example, you know how it works if you get a customer that's, being your own boss can say, look, I don't want to deal with you right now. Goodbye. And you're not going to get fired, right?
Correct.
You can choose how you do your business. I think that people, when they start their business, they think they got to, roll it up, kiss some butt, and make this work that way. But in reality, you do have to have good manners. You do have to, understand you're going to go out and solicit. You're going to work. You're going to have a little bit of propaganda. And these are old words that I'm using today. You call it advertising, making friends, networking, right? So, but I like to call the kettle black. It's black. It's burnt. It's been on the fire for a long time. We can call it new names if you want to. It's all the same thing. But the people that are going to make the decision of making their own business are going to be 18 or above, and they're all looking at it from a different point of view. Some of them think that being your own boss means you can go to work whenever you want to and whatever. That's not true. You're going to have to set a regimen and do something. The easier part about doing it this way is that you got other peers that are working with you on the same movement, the same track. So you can cheat. Basically, you get the answers of what to do, what to sell, and everything else together. And you work as a group, as an internet community, to be able to make this work. It's like us collaborating with other people online to be able to spread the news. For example, today I can talk to you about a wonderful product that I like, that it's OPC3. Helps my blood run better, takes out a lot of antigens, helps me with my allergies. But see, I don't want to sell that. Someone on my team can take that call right now. You can hit the little guy at the bottom in the lower right-hand corner and say, hello. I just heard the Novi talk about OPC. I don't want to take that call, but someone working with me can actually click on that button and get that call and get that profit of being a salesperson and also a customer service person. So being your own boss can be really cool if you're creative about it. Any comments on being your own boss? Because that's part of the good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Commentary? No? Being your own boss? Everybody happy with that?
Well, I think being your own boss, just to emphasize again, it really does force you in a very good way to develop habits that would help you succeed even when you decide to retire. Planning your own regimen, being disciplined, being responsible, keeping a schedule, working with team, being able to work independently and on a team. Those are great life skills for whatever stage of life you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good. Anybody else?
I definitely do think that the ability of being your own boss brings a whole new skill set to your life. Exactly what L1 was talking about.
I think Luna 9 is over here trying to flag me down like she always does. So what's up, Luna? What do you got? What do you got for us this evening?
Well, I just want to say, in terms of being my own boss, I think that with advanced missions, for me personally, because it has 13 different types of businesses you can do remotely from home, online. So whether it's, cosmetology, makeup, web stuff, health, wellness, lots of different things, even things that deal with debt consolidation and debt shredding, it's just got a lot of opportunity. And for me, I've always been the type of person that really just enjoys to continue learning just for myself, as well as always being able to evolve with other aspects of not just the government, but like the economy and what it has to offer. So for me to be my own boss and have the time to do that and have, for me, I would consider this more of a privilege because I've been raised in a place where, you know, this didn't happen
I
until
know you've been
recently,
raised.
right? Like this working from home stuff is like crazy to me. So, you know, I'm used to doing the grungy work, you know, so for it to be my own boss and get to do this from home or get to take it wherever I want, if I want to go global and just take my laptop with me and just video conference or have, you know, appointments and stuff like that, doing what I love, which for me is health and wellness, nutrition, stuff like that. It's just ideal. I don't see anything better or more rewarding.
Awesome, awesome. So let's get to some really bad reasons why you need to get off your butt. What about the economy being unstable? What about that?
Well,
Is it true? Is it a lie?
It's been unstable for a good 10, some people would say it's been unstable for a good 10, 20 years, even more.
Yeah.
It's, you know, people have been saying even in recent times with some of the most recent things that have happened to the economy, not only in the United States, but all over the world, people are saying, you know, that we haven't really seen the worst of that. It's like, wow. So, plus, you know, I do want to say that as far as another bad reason to start a business, or I think it's the reason that's negative, is that the employee retirement options of a pension or a 401k or any other, what they call those retirements that people used to get back in the good old days where you could just live the rest of your life off of your retirement. Many people are saying that doesn't exist anymore at all.
Yeah,
From your
it's true.
employer.
I've heard about that too. And you know, another thing that I feel like is one of those kind of like, it's not coming, it's here type of a thing that's, you know, coming towards our wallets is AI and robotics. I know that we're all excited to see what the future has to bring, but you know, the robotic and the artificial intelligence
the AI
industry.
and the robotics, Luna, that's like the ugly part. That's the part you cannot escape.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the ugly.
So it's either you adapt or you perish in that
So
type of an
can
environment.
I just say something? Because, you know, a long time ago, like 1970s with Star Trek and all this other stuff, that's before your time, I know. It's actually before my time, too. I just want you to know that. But I like sci-fi. I like to look at the old stories. You know, Jordy was holding up this pad, and you can read everything with the pad. Well, now we have these digital pads on here. We have that in glass that you can see through almost, right? I forgot the, Lexi, what's the TV that you can see through? You know the one?
The TV that you can see through?
Yeah, the technology where you can see through the TV, but you can see really good. What's the latest
Oh,
technology?
wait.
You always remember these things more than I do.
Oh, man.
You forgot? That's okay. It's no problem.
It's like
It's okay.
it's like the
Put her on the spot,
nanotechnology.
Danovi.
I know, right? Put everybody in a spot. But she's good. We go shopping for technology all the time.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, you can even see it on YouTube, whatever the case. You got the cloaking mechanisms now and everything like that. So the point is, back then, you were like, ha, this is so great. One day we'll be over there. We'll be fantastic. But today, it's a real live event. And here's the problem. We're no longer working for humans. We're working for the robotics and AI system.
Yeah, no, I totally hear you. I mean, they have things from like robot pizza makers taking your pizza making jobs. They got robot surgeons. They got robot bartenders, which, by the way, you can find all of this on YouTube as well. I personally think the robot bartender is a little slow compared to an actual bartender. I mean, you can see a natural, you know, a human bartender pour like
I think you're
12
jealous just
shots in a
because
row.
you're jealous just because you can't complain to a robot bartender.
Right,
But
right.
you
You
can
can't tell your
see
story
those.
to a robot bartender, but they've got robot taxi, scouts, factory workers, soldiers, robot humans. I mean, they got all the AI stuff going on. And
They
I'm not trying to do
robot
the doomsday.
samurais too.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to do like the doomsday thing, but when we think about seriously what's coming up in the future, like artificial intelligence has risen and many blue and white collar jobs have been taken by it throughout the last decade. So we can only assume that it's going to keep rising. And what's going to keep rising along with it? Online working, online network marketing, affiliate marketing,
Entertainment.
blogging, exactly, social media. It's going to boom. So you either get on the wagon or you're going to have to, you know, watch it from home.
Or worse yet, you're going to have to go get retrained on robots and AI, and you're going to have to go to school and do it that way. So one way or another, things have got to change. I heard...
to be an engineer?
Yeah, Lexi, you were going to say something earlier?
Oh, was I talking about the robot samurai?
Oh yeah,
That one's a little scary for me.
you gotta see that.
They're all scary.
Yeah. When you look that one up, I think he splits like a pea in half. Like a pea pod
The
with a
precision.
sword.
with a sword.
So, L1, you've been quiet. I think we scared you with the AI and the robotics thing. What do you think?
It got real dark real quick.
I know, right? Well, that's
No,
the
I
ugly
mean,
part.
I want to say that has been something that people have been talking about for, probably past generations. It's not something new. You could say the writings of Isaac Asimov have been talking about how robotics and AI are going to take over and change the economy as we see it, and it's
The
happening
writing of
already.
who? Isn't it nice? And us, we're looking at each other like, where the heck did she get this?
L1 is like a walking encyclopedia.
Isn't she that?
I swear.
I want you to repeat that.
Oh,
the
here,
writing of
let me,
who?
Fantastic.
It's Isaac Asimov. He actually wrote the story I, Robot.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I was
Did
just
not
enjoying
know
the
that.
movie, and then she's over here.
And well, that's what the
Right.
movie was based off.
yeah, but you get all
Oh,
the
I
background
see.
information. It's kind of cool. So yeah, really, it's not going to be a pretty transition for a lot of people. That's for sure. Now, the next thing I want to just bring out, because we are doing this for advanced missions, so you guys can get an idea of what's really going on out there. And don't forget, subscribe to our show, click on the page, to follow us, and follow us on Anchor.fm, BIBX on YouTube, and also on Become a Source as well. I'm sure there's some other links there that we put there just to help you guys out a little bit.
And that's spelled BIBX.
Thank you there. So how hard is it really to run a business today? Because a lot of people were afraid. How hard is it? How much does it really cost to run a business?
I think that's a great question, Novi, and I think honestly that actually depends on like what kind of business you're running, and not just what kind, but what resources and tools are you using.
I think that's the key, right?
Right? People are just like, oh no, it's this general answer, and it's like, no, like there are so many different ways you can go about running the same exact thing. It's just really a matter of preference and comfort is the way I look at it, or knowledge.
And you should know, because you've been privy to the corporate sector where you can see businesses run from different points of view, right? So you've been through the whole corporate analysis. But Lexi, do you recall our research on how much does it really cost to do a real business? Because I just want to say one thing to people listening today.
Oh wow.
You remember?
I don't remember exact numbers, but I remember one example. I think we were looking at how much does it cost to own a Panera Bread, and
Love Panera Bread.
You love food.
I think between the lot, like the space that the building is going to be placed on and built on, and the actual building itself, like just the hard shell with nothing inside, it's like over $200,000.
I just stop right there. Stop right there. So lately, I've been looking online, and this is my pet peeve. I don't know. I believe in free speech. I mean, I don't think anybody doesn't, and I don't want people to stop talking and expressing things because they need to. I mean, obviously, there's corrupt business. Enron was a big deal. If you look at news, it's a huge deal. There have been some problems also with the pharmaceutical companies and stuff like that. Really big things, right? But people are attacking like network marketing, MLMs. They're attacking small businesses. I mean, you can make like your own soap or something like that, and they want to attack that too. And most of these people are, forgive me for saying it, the ones that are attacking are sort of losers, or sort of they have an agenda, and they're scaring so many other people into doing business. Well, here's the reality. Unless you have $250,000 to put on a business as a risk, because it may not even work, you need to start complaining and start researching what you got going on. Luna, what you got going on with her?
Yeah, what I wanted to say is like some of these people that I will say that some businesses do lack sometimes a certain structure model that can be better delivered.
Oh my God, yes.
But that's not every business. Every business is different. But I do find the part that's a little bit on the funny side when it deals with like comments and stuff, because I have seen like a lot of different like MLMs or like like individual like people just starting their own business, like the Novi said, like soap or organic stuff like that, candles, things like that, and then you'll have like that one person that like reviews it and talks about how much they hate it because it doesn't work. It's kind of like when you buy like a hair curler, right, to make waves in your hair, and they're like, it didn't work, and then it's like if you read the directions sometimes, if you don't do the directions right, it's not gonna work. It's gonna look terrible. Your hair is gonna get burnt. Your hair is not gonna
I
look
get
like
it.
the right
So,
length of width
Let
or
me
of
see.
wave.
Let me see if I understand
So-
you. Sometimes the products are good. The people just don't know how to use them.
Yeah, sometimes the business needs to work on things on their end to build better processes, procedures, and better delivery of execution of like how the models run with sales, product, services, whatever, right? But sometimes it's the consumer that's kind of a little bit slow, that just needs to take a second look or give it another try, because I've had my experiences where I've seen reviews and I'm just like, I don't know about that.
Well, could it be that those people go into it kind of biased when they purchase and use the product?
Yeah, they could. I could see that.
All right. Well, that sounds really good to me, because I kind of have the opposite issue. Like, for example, I went out and I bought some stuff from Amazon, and lo and behold, you told me something great the other day. I think it was this morning when I was
This morning.
Yeah, me. So we're talking about trying to work with some of the equipment that we have. And you say, why don't you go buy an Amazon card on our shop.com, for example, which is part of the business that we got going on. And so I looked up shop.com, I say Amazon card, and right there, lo and behold, I can purchase an Amazon card. And as I purchase it, I can make money also, because shopping today is a business.
Right.
Right? So you can even shop. So cut out the middleman. The stores have learned to cut out the middleman, either give it to social media or give it to you. But you got to be tied in. So just shopping alone, that's a business for you. And we could show you how to do that too. That's easy.
Oh yeah, definitely. For those of you guys that are kind of like scratching your heads, like, what do you mean by an Amazon card when I could just buy it on Amazon? Like, check out advancedmissions.com, go on the chat, reach out to our alliance agents. Like, we'd be more than happy. Everybody would be more than happy to answer any of the questions that you have about this. I know sometimes it's a little bit of a lot, but it's some cool stuff.
So Elle, can you just recap how hard it is to really do a business?
I would say, well, it's only going to be hard in terms of but at least with this business, there will be some low overhead costs. And I say low overhead compared to a traditional business. So you're gonna have to have some consistent overhead costs. Also, I would say.
Now, you're talking about general business, or you're talking about the advanced missions?
The advanced missions.
Right. What's the Just be honest. Like, can we be honest for a minute?
You mean as far as an actual traditional business?
Yeah, versus what this is going on. Just an idea.
So the soft skills, I would say, are not as hard to learn as the actual. I want to call it like the actual. What do you call it? The actual brick and mortar work. The actual cost of it's difficult right now, because the average person doesn't have $250,000 just lying around, or $500,000, or even $900,000, which is some of the costs of these franchises, traditional franchises. They don't have that money lying around. And that's just the start. That's not even the overhead.
So would you say that if I started a home business and I invested, right, let's say $1,000 or $13,000 over time, not in one shot, not like, hey, I'm starting a business, here's $13,000. Let's say that today I put in, I don't know, what is it, $200 maybe to get the paperwork and everything done?
Maybe to 200 to 500.
Depends on what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So anywhere from free to $400, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I invest that money, I put it in there. It's still way less than $250,000.
Well, yeah.
Right? And it's still less than having to pay employees and everything else, right?
Yeah.
And you still get the knowledge, the books, the training, you get the meetings, you get the people working with you and all that stuff. So in reality, you pay more money just to go to school, like we just were talking, like these guys online are saying, hey, I just made $100,000 in 2 weeks. I can show you how to do it too. And when you follow up on them, what they're doing is that you have to buy my class for so much money, and you got to keep buying the class, but you still need a product. And you still need all the... Lexi, I think you were the one that was hyped up on that thing, right?
Yes.
So what's it like? You still need what? Even though you pay all this money for these courses.
For which courses?
Any course online. I don't want to call anybody out.
Okay.
We take their courses too. But, I mean, when you when you see these guys saying, I made $100,000 online, click here, whatever, and then it's a course you have to buy. I mean, it's a lot of money, and what else? You were talking to me about it. I just want to hear your opinion.
Oh, okay. I think I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, so there's a lot of courses online that you'll see pop up as ads or whatnot, and you purchase them, and they don't have any kind of structure to work with, except for the skills you'll learn and the knowledge you'll learn. So what I mean by that is, they'll teach you how to be an entrepreneur. They'll teach you how to be a business person in a certain field or certain genre, but they don't provide you the system to have the products. They don't provide you a financial system. It's just the skills and knowledge.
Right, and then it's all up to you to be able to perfect those skills and knowledge, right? Because we've taken the classes, and lo and behold, I'm sorry, but some of them I'm impressed with, most of them I'm not, and I'm not impressed because I've seen so many of them, probably, right? And there's some courses you can take on Udemy and other places online that are free. Nothing's ever going to be complete for you. So that's a really big pet peeve, because in comparison to this business, I don't think you're spending really that much money. I think you're spending a lot of fear and worry and doubt and stuff that you don't need to be spending in. I think it's more fear, worry, apprehension, and all these people saying how everything is a scam in the entire world. Well, I got news for you. Buying a house is a scam. You're going to pay 3 times as much money in interest on that darn thing, and repairs and everything else. And when you sell it, you're happy because you got $60,000 after you spend $100,000 into the house, and you're not getting that back. It makes no sense to me. It is not an investment. It's an investment for the bank. And even Robert Kiyosaki will tell you the same thing. So people that talk like that, I really worry about how they're talking to the general people. So I'm very happy for something like Advanced Missions to come up and just say, hey, here it is. We're dead on. We're going to tell you flat in your face what it is. Any other myths there, L1?
I would say another myth is that, let's see, so we covered so far, only people with certain mindset can start it. You need a lot of money to start it. Well, we did say that. We actually did kind of support that you do need a lot of money to start it, but not all businesses. Second, I would say a third myth is that if it doesn't work once, it's not going to work again. In other words, if your efforts didn't work, if your efforts didn't bring any profit, you shouldn't even try a business. That is a terrible myth that people
that's
have.
a terrible thing to say to yourself, that you're a loser because you tried it one time and it didn't work. The light bulb was 999 times before we got light.
It goes along with that mindset it goes along with that myth that only people with a certain mindset can start a business. You need the soft skills. It's true. I want to say this. It is true that only a certain mindset can start a business, but you can get the skills. You can. Anyway, I'm just passionate about that.
I love your passion. It's great. I'm going to talk to the writers of our show, and I'm going to say L1 needs to be more passionate. Luna 9 needs to be more in your face like she was today. And Lexi AI, the technician, she's got to come out more. She's got that technical data going on. And me, I can sit back and relax a little bit more because they really pushed me to the limit on that show. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's we're going to wrap it up today. If you want to hear more about our stuff, Lexi, where can they go?
Oh, wait. Go to our social media page?
Are you asleep over there? What are you doing?
No, I'm confused by your question.
Where can they go? Where can they go to find out more information about us? They want to follow us. They want to learn more about what we have to say. And
okay.
And our show, too. Let L1, excuse me, not Luna. Let L1 talk about our show. But where can they go to find out more information? Because you do all of our marketing and media and presentations, and you help put this together for the NSA 6. What do you call it? Nova Synergy Alliances. Mm-hmm. So what can we do?
They can go to advanced-missions.com. And if you go to the Follow Us page, that will show you all of our different social media channels and also the different segments, like the BIBX segments and then the Become the Source segments.
And don't forget the hyphen, you guys, because if you don't put the hyphen, it's not going to take you to Advanced Missions, all right? The little horizontal line between Advanced and Missions.
It's true.
Bingo. L1, what about our show? What can they get out of our show? SO Life and BIBX, Business in a Box.
Well, Business in a Box, like I said, that's going to help you with the mindset. We believe in not only being able to teach you the soft skills to run a business successfully, but we're also going to, we believe that it should be available at no charge, number one. And we also found that some people say there is a lot of psychology involved in our BIBX shows because it does focus on emotional intelligence.
It's very deeply rooted in,
Yeah.
in learning the self, the financial blueprint inside of you, the subconscious mind, right?
I think so too. And as far as ESO Life goes, I would say that's probably the more shocking of the two, because I think what a lot of the feedback we've been getting is that people begin to realize how closely entwined the things that you can't see are tied in with the things that you can see. I'm just going to put it that way.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. I want to watch my own show now. All right, guys. Luna 9, last words, please.
No, thank you guys for coming by and, hanging out with us. I know that we're about to launch our new season with BTS, and that's going to be super exciting. But in the meanwhile, make sure that you check us at advanced-missions.com and see if there's a business that you may be able to partake in for your own personal pleasure. Give us a chat.
Lexi AI, any last?
Well, it was definitely a pleasure being on this show. I do hope that everybody else has a great rest of their weekend, and I hope everybody gets through it. With the current state of affairs, there's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel.
Light at the end of the tunnel. L1, what do you got to say?
I say, definitely everybody out there, keep your head up. Whatever situation you're in right now, please, please, please remember that it's still possible to change something in your life if you're not happy about it. I think the majority of you that are here today are here because you want to change something in your life. So please, please, please keep your head up, keep the hope. There is a way for you to change for the better.
And remember, you are humanity's last hope.